If you ski or jog or you exercise regularly at the gym, you know how annoying contacts and glasses can be. And, you know, one of the questions I get about LASIK that we haven't addressed yet is, what about athletes? What about me? Can I still do the things I do after I get LASIK? So we're going to put some of your fears to rest. Dr. John Dishler, my LASIK expert. Dr. Dishler is here, and he has with him one of his patients, Garrett Wilson. So I guess, Garrett, you can come closer, by the way. Come in closer to the table here. Okay, you want to talk about Garrett because he's active?
Very active. He had very bad eyes. He was just telling me before the show, reviewing that with me. Couldn't see, I don't remember, you can tell us. But he's very active, does a lot of sports.
Right.
We see a lot of professional athletes or, amateur athletes. And it's just really, he has a compelling story. It's very important that they can be,
yeah. What was your case? Did you have contacts? Did you have glasses? Did you find them hindering for your basketball, volleyball, your skiing?
Absolutely. I had to switch between the two. I couldn't wear contacts all day because my eyes would get very dry and bloodshot.
Yes.
So I had to remember to bring them with me if I wanted to spontaneously go to the gym or play some pickup basketball. It was just a real
headache.
A real pain. And I didn't want to wear those Kurt Rambis goggles, so.
How long have you had the problem seeing?
I've had over a decade. I've had pretty bad eyes. I mean, they got worse and worse up until the point of, before I had LASIK at Dr. Dishler's, I couldn't see fingers a few feet away. And now I can see 20/10, and my eyes are less dry than they were wearing contacts and less fatigued than wearing glasses even. So.
Why didn't you do LASIK sooner?
Well, I wanted to wait for my eyes to stabilize, one, and I did have some of the fears that a lot of people have as well. It could hurt, or it might take a while,
right, or it may not be right.
Yeah, my eyes were dry already, and I was worried a dry eye was going to get worse, and it's actually gotten better. And the procedure itself was painless. I mean, I didn't feel anything.
No, it's just a few seconds in each eye.
Yeah, within a day I could see 20/10. And really had no issues. So
what is the atmosphere? I need people to know the different kind of atmosphere you feel when you walk into Dr. Dishler's office. It's not like a medical facility, although it's every bit as technically advanced and of course all of that professional, but it doesn't feel sterile. It doesn't feel terrible.
No, it doesn't. There's very friendly people to greet you. It's very open. They have a great view, which when you first come in you can't really see, and then after it's done, when you go up for follow-up, you get to see his great view sharply, and it's
and the procedure for screening you. Thorough?
It's very thorough. They checked my eyes several different times to make sure that they had the prescription right and that I was a good candidate. Because that was another thing I was worried that maybe I wasn't a good candidate because my eyes were so bad. But his technology seems to be cutting edge.
And they map the eye, so each treatment is specific to you. And did you have any special issues with your eyes?
I believe I had a little bit of astigmatism.
Dr. Dishler?
Yeah, I mean, we see a lot of people like Garrett who were told their eyes were too bad for LASIK. People with large pupils,
exactly.
People that do sports. Almost every kind of sport you can do with LASIK. And Colorado is a very dry place. A lot of people typically will have contacts and then they'll start to have dry eye problems.
And they automatically assume, uh-oh, I have dry eyes, can't do it.
Right. And people like Garrett, I mean, his dry eyes are actually better. Some people, they can be worse after LASIK, at least temporarily for a few weeks, and we take care of that. But dry eye many times, if it's just mild, is better not wearing contacts. And people can go on to do skiing and active outdoor sports that they so much like to do here. For some contact sports, we recommend other procedures like PRK, but that's for just very specialized people. But most people with our new thin flap LASIK, we have the technology that we can do eye corrections, bladeless, and so this technology is now matured to the point where virtually any prescription, as long as the person's healthy, has healthy eyes, we usually get good results. And I understand Garrett's seeing better than 20/20 in spite of having really, really strong prescriptions.
Garrett, you went in for an evaluation, and there was no obligation, no high pressure, no cost.
Oh no, not at all. I mean, I think the pricing was very reasonable, better than I expected. Again, the outcome was better than I expected, and I went in thinking I had a 50-50 shot of being a good candidate, and they did all the tests and said confidently that I was a great candidate.
But that's the point, is that you don't have anything to risk. There is no cost going in. It's complimentary. It's complimentary to look at you, to give you a full evaluation, to see if you're a candidate. Then the choice is yours. The price, when you think about the amount of correction, the before care, the after care, you cannot beat the price. They even have financing available. And did you know, by the way, that he was honored in Gold Line recognition? It's called Gold Line. It's a group that evaluates all kinds of people, and they did LASIK surgeons. He was one of 10. Did you know
he's a
that?
fund manager, and so I'm sure he's familiar with Forbes magazine.
Yeah, there's right here. So he was in Forbes magazine as one, and we're talking about 10 selected around the country, and this is not paid advertising. This is where they evaluate them independently and then put them in a magazine to honor them. And of course, vision is critical for every sport, and professional athletes or amateur athletes, many have already done this. Pilots have done it, scuba divers.
Right.
Really, is there anyone that can't do it? I mean, if they're medically correct.
If they're medically correct, most everyone can have this done if they want to have it done. You know, it depends on what the person does and what their lifestyle is, and how important this is to them, how bad their eyes are. Obviously, it's a bigger deal for some people than for others, but more and more people are candidates for this than used to be. That's certainly true.
Garrett, thank you very much for coming in. And those of you who are interested, right now, Dishler LASIK is giving away a free pair of binoculars with your free consultation. So even if you decide not to do LASIK, or if you're not a candidate, you'll get a free pair of binoculars. Also, when you call Dr. Dishler, you might want to ask about clinical trials. He is involved in a clinical trial right now, which is very important, and you may be a candidate for that. Also, if you go to Dishler LASIK, the website, if you go to dishler.com, read about the contest, okay? Read about the contest. That's all I'm going to say. You can get LASIK free, or at least $500 off just for entering. By the way, the best price guaranteed, custom LASIK, both eyes, 24-month payments are available, all right? So you can always check them out, too, at Martino.tv. So that's 303-793-3000, 303-793-3000, or Dishler.com. Now, remember, on Dishler.com, you can find out way more than just your complimentary consultation. You get binoculars, but you can also find out about these clinical trials that I'm excited about. And also the contest, the video contest, where you're almost assured to get, well, you are assured to get $500 off just for entering, and you could possibly get your procedure done free.